Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Pete Lewis, Mayor of Auburn, and welcome to another of the groundbreakings that you've been seeing taking place in our city. Isn't it exciting that this is another one of the groundbreakings taking place in our city? There's so much going on around our town. There's so many people to be thankful for their assistance and their cooperation and the partnerships that we're having. But this is a specific event that many of us have been looking forward to for a very long time. First of all, we do need to introduce our council. We'll start off with our Deputy Mayor, Nancy Backus, Councilmember Rich Wagner, John Holman, Wayne Osborne, Bill Pelosa. Now we also have former council member Lynn Norman, who I dragged up here because she had so much to do with the design of this. We have a couple people out in the audience as well. Now, the former Deputy Mayor, Sue Singer's out here. Sue, where are you? There she is, thank you. And we also have Katrina Acey and Mark Hargrove, our representatives. Katrina's from the 30th District and Mark is from the 47th. First of all, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for coming. I appreciate the fact that our elected representatives recognize the value of Auburn and are always in attendance at our events. You show up each time. We do appreciate it. We thank you for representing us. This is a project long time coming, and maybe we'll still have some cover by the time we get done doing this. I was looking at the weather Doppler map, and it showed how there's this one little arm of the storm that's coming through, and there's clear weather about 30 miles south, all the way 30 miles south. It didn't mention the speed of the wind, just that it was clearing. So we'll see how this all goes. This is a project that started out years ago, started out with an incredible body of work, not just by the City Council, but all the citizens of Auburn. We have had a number of studies that we did on this to make sure that we got it right. We got some grants from the U.S. Conference of Mayors, Mayors Institute, that came into our town to help provide us advice as well. Every one of our groups, the Chamber of Commerce, the Downtown Association, Citizens Group, the school district, the bus community, people that live in the downtown and outside the downtown have all had their hand on this particular project. Now, when we started this out, the first thing that we knew, as you've heard me say before, we don't have any money. But we needed to do something to attract development to this area. We knew that the infrastructure in our downtown was built in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and could not stand modern development coming in. We had to do something to prove to the developers of a region that we were ready to accept progress in our downtown. So we went to the federal government first. We went through the Puget Sound Regional Council. We went and talked to them and talked about getting a grant from the Federal Economic Development Agency. And there'll be more of that to talk about later. And we went forward and we had to go through a 4-county process of elimination to be put forward to accept that grant. Now, our Mayor Chuck Booth and his wife Leila are here. They know what it's like to go through those processes. And the mayor taught me well how to be so patient to go through those processes, which I appreciate greatly. It served me well during this time. And then we went to our state legislature because we had no money. And we knew that we needed to do something, and there's another name for it now. It's tax increment financing, but with another name because you're not supposed to say that. But what it means is that we can use some of the state's sales tax given back to the city to pay for this in anticipation of the increased sales tax that will be generated over the decades to come. And we got up to $7 million to use for that. Now, we're not using all the amounts, but this is a 25-year local revitalization funding project from the state of Washington. Now, I would like to start off by introducing some of the officials here that have had so much to do with this. And the first one I wanted to introduce is a representative from our federal government, from the Federal Economic Development Agency, and we have Jacob Macias here from the Economic Development Agency, and also Brian Alvis. And you gentlemen are now standing. You moved on me. There you go. And you're over. I knew you were sitting, but I didn't know where. There you go. Would you come on up, please? Now, we talked to these gentlemen this morning and asked, and they said, yes, we're coming. And we said, and yes, you're speaking. So I appreciate you coming on such short notice.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've got some, I decided I like being brief. So I prepared some comments. I limited myself to one page, 16-point font, so it'll be brief. I'd like to thank the mayor and the city council members and city officials for the invitation to this event. I'd also like to extend greetings to all of you from Commerce Secretary John Bryson, Acting Assistant Secretary for Economic Development Administration Matt Erskine, and our Regional Director here in the Seattle Regional Office, Leonard Smith, who was very supportive of the project. I'd like to give you a little background on EDA, since probably many of you attending are not familiar with it. You know, we're one of you hear about all these agencies, these acronyms, EDA, FTA, DOC. Well, EDA was created in 1965 by the Public Works and Economic Development Act. It was one of President Johnson's Great Society programs. And it was created with the belief that the federal government should have a role in ensuring that communities remain economically viable. Communities should have the appropriate infrastructure in place so businesses could grow, private sector could make investments, and there could be economic opportunities for all. The idea is even more critical today given current economic conditions. EDA is a small agency within the U.S. Department of Commerce. Our staff represents approximately 0.5% of the entire department. We have about 200 people nationally in 6 regional offices. However, we're a small agency with a very large mission. It was created in 1965 with the mission of creating and or retaining jobs in the nation's communities. EDA we have a variety of grant programs to assist communities in mitigating economic distress, including the Public Works program under which this project was funded. It's anticipated this project will lead to the expansion and growth of businesses in the downtown and the commercial area. EDA is proud to be a partner with the city in this development effort, which will lead to greater economic development opportunities. And I'd like to thank you very much for the invitation and participating here, and hopefully the weather will hold out for us. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Isn't it amazing the federal government started speaking and the sun came out? You know, temporarily. So, there's another individual here who could not come, but we owe such a great deal of gratitude for. Another one of our representatives, Pat Sullivan. Pat Sullivan came in and had seen our plan, and he came into my office and voluntarily said, this is something that needs to be done. This is something that is important not just to the city of Auburn, but South King County, North Pierce County. This is something that needs to be shown to the state legislature, and we need to have a method of financing for this, and I'm going to be the person that's going to bring it back to you. And he did. Now, Representative Sullivan is not here today. He's been in the leadership. He probably can't even stand up today. But from the city of Auburn, thank you for Pat Sullivan. We appreciate it. Our other partner in this was the 4-county Puget Sound Regional Council. And they are the agency that we had to take this project through. And there was over 20 projects that year. And we went through a series of meetings and showing the materials and talking about the benefits. And as we were chosen to be the winner to go forward to the Federal Economic Development Agency, that process was guided by the director of the Puget Sound Regional Council, Bob Drewell. Now, Bob could not make it here today. He actually called from the airport saying, I just want the mayor to know that if I wasn't getting on an airplane to go to the other side of the country, I would be there. He's a great guy, and he wanted to make really sure I know. And what he said as a message, he wanted this sent to us this morning. He said, the success of Auburn is because of the solid leadership, economic development planning, and having the vision of what it takes to maintain continued steady growth. The city of Auburn and the entire Puget Sound region will benefit, and the Puget Sound Regional Council is glad it could play a role in the success to make this a reality for a great city. It is not the leadership from this podium. It's not the leadership of one particular sector. It is the leadership of every single person who is here today that has played a part in what we are starting to become. The changes we are making in our city, we are making together. They're ongoing and lasting, and they will bring benefits to our generations to come. As we've talked about before, if we can increase our tax base through bringing in new business, if we can increase our property tax base from bringing in new business, then we will have more funds available for our quality of life. We'll have less dependency on the need to tax our individual citizens, and we will continue to have further successes as we work on these things together. This has been indeed a community project. There's more yet to come. There's more quickly down the road, so to speak. But today, we'll celebrate the success of the Promenade, the success of the reopening, and it's a long time coming, the reopening of Division Street. Now, I do want to introduce the chairs of the committees that were involved most up front with this, is Planning and the Public Works Department, and they're going to be coming forward, and we're going to start off with our Deputy Mayor, Nancy Backus.
Thank you, Mayor. So there is not a single project in this city that happens because of one person. I'd like to identify a few of the people that were instrumental in this project. Elizabeth Chamberlain, Program Manager. Elizabeth? Oh, right back up here. Ryan Vondrak, who is the Project Manager. Ingrid Grob, who is Quality Assurance and Quality Control. Is Ingrid here? Mike Kamenzind, Construction Inspector. Joanne Anderson, Contract Administration Specialist. Brian Mead and Bob Burton, Project Surveying. And those people are led by two great directors, Kevin Snyder, Planning and Development Department, and Dennis Dowdy of Public Works. But those aren't the only people that had a hand in this project. There's IT, there's finance, more Public Works, M&O, police. City of Auburn employees, if you had a hand at all in any part of this project, would you please raise your hand? Come on, you're all over there. They like to work undercover, but it is because of them that we have great assets in our city like this. So thank you so much for all the work that you do, and I know you go unrecognized quite often. This promenade is part of our history. It's a key piece of the history of a 120-year-old city. The new look, and I've been told this many times, don't forget it, it is crisp and contemporary. Cool, isn't it? Crisp and contemporary. It's a new gathering place for our city, and it's to celebrate the history and our people. It's an investment in current and new business. Don't ever forget that while it's important to attract new business, it's equally important, if not more so, to retain the great businesses that we have that have supported our city. Probably 20% of the money was spent on what you can see, but 80% of the money is underground and very, very necessary for the vitality of our downtown. Let's celebrate our past, we're reimagining our present, and we're investing in our future. Thank you so much for being here today.
I'm glad we got that on tape. Our deputy mayor was in charge of the Planning Community Development Committee, along with Councilmember Norman did such a marvelous job, and Deputy Mayor Singer is right out there. We also have, as the Deputy Mayor alluded to, a great deal of the money that went into this project you can't see. It's under the ground, and it was a lot of work. There was a lot of meetings that were incredibly exciting, talking about the size of pipes and storm vaults and how the sewer system should work. And every one of those meetings was presided over by the chair of our Public Works Committee, Councilmember Rich Wagner. Councilmember Wagner.
Well, for those of us that are engineers, that is the exciting part. And this design has state-of-the-art things in it, like the pervious pavement that you'll see out there, to let the water move down into the ground and not have as much of it go to the rivers, and to clean it as it goes down. There's just a lot of good stuff going on here. And I wanted to mention that pervious concrete that you're seeing out there is a technology that was brought back by Councilmember Pelosi from the National League of Cities conference that he goes to. You know, we send people to the National League of Cities for lots of reasons, and they bring back this very useful kinds of state-of-the-art things that we can make use of. One other thing I wanted to say is that as an engineer, I always have a little trepidation about having a co-leadership between engineering and planning. But I have to say that Elizabeth and Ryan pulled this off and kept it pretty on top and functional underneath.
Engineers, short and to the point. They always do an excellent job, don't they? Yes. Okay, and we're going to move along. Yes, that was it. There's so much to talk about here, and we're hoping that the wind and the rain does not develop further. So moving right along, I'd like to introduce again, and you've heard her talked about, Elizabeth Chamberlain is the city's planning manager who provided the oversight for this team. And Elizabeth, I'd like to have you come forward for some recognition of some folks.
Oh, and perfect timing for our train there. Thank you, Mayor Lewis. It's just extremely exciting to see many years of work and visioning finally come together with the completion of our promenade. It's really the final leg of our main downtown infrastructure investment. We opened the City Hall Plaza exactly a year ago today. I mean, that was complete coincidence that we planned today's event an exact year of City Hall Plaza opening. We had Plaza Park open a few months later. That's where we're standing today. And then, of course, the Promenade, creating our urban environment that sets the stage for further redevelopment in downtown Auburn. As already discussed, this really was not an effort of just planning and public works, but really every department was involved in this project, either at the early stages by preparing the grant application to the Economic Development Administration, which started 5 years ago, so it's been a long time coming, to the design phase and to the actual construction of the project. The city worked with KPG Incorporated to design our promenade, and our project managers, Jason Fritzler and Paul Fusel, plus the whole KPG team, took our vision and basically ran with it. They included things that we hadn't even thought of, such as the curbless street, widening of the east side of the sidewalks. We had originally wanted us to do 10 feet, but they said, no, let's look at widening this a little bit more to match the west side. And then, of course, our anchor piece down at the end of the promenade of 3rd Street, which is our downtown Auburn Gateway feature. And all these things really enhance the project beyond our expectations. So thank you to our whole design team. And I just want to mention a couple of other projects that we're going to be starting on. And you may have seen some of the construction staging that has started just right over here to my left. The Main Street teal lights are going to be replaced with our new black pedestrian lights. Those have they're starting to fall apart and outlive their usefulness, so we're replacing them with our new pedestrian lights. We're also going to be starting on a downtown sculpture garden, bringing additional public art into our downtown, as well as new pedestrian wayfinding kiosks, just to kind of tie our whole downtown together with our great projects that we have here. So thank you very much.
Did you hear those innovations of the council? A downtown sculpture garden where we can have sculptures from different artists on display and perhaps have a contest throughout the city to decide which one the city will buy. Kiosks to direct people around. New features that will bring even more and more people downtown. And there's more features yet to come. We still have more people to thank here. We have more partners here, but two in particular. I would like to introduce one of our ongoing partners that had a great deal to do with the design, our Auburn Area Chamber of Commerce, the President and Chief Operating Officer, Nancy Wyatt.
Thank you, Mayor Lewis. It's exciting to be here today because, you know, a year ago we were looking at this and back in July we broke the ground for the promenade. And I tell you what, at that time, I got up here and I said, you know what you see happening isn't going to be necessarily sexy because we had to have that infrastructure, the stuff that Rich was talking about, making sure that we have the capacity for what we're going to be bringing in down here. But what you see on top, and I talked about that at the time, what you see on top is gorgeous. So the design work from the council and staff, it is beautiful. Let's give them all a round of applause for that. For those of you that follow us on Facebook, I did put out there this morning, I am going to be doing a happy dance in the street because I am just so thrilled. Yes, I could have been negative throughout this whole process. I could have sat in my office and called up the mayor every day. Doggone it all, I'm shaking in my chair from all the jackhammers. Doggone it all, you know, our lights are flickering. Oh no, now the water's off. But you know what? I didn't complain. I did not call the mayor every day because I saw the vision. I saw what was going to happen. And you are all seeing it here today, and we are just thrilled. Thank you very much.
I forgot about the day that the water went off. I did hear about it, but it was my staff calling up saying, just in case you get a phone call, and I never did. There's another part of our downtown, yeah, that was the other part of it I didn't mention, the phones were out at the same time. But nobody came in the office either, and you know, with that front door made out of glass, they knew I was in there. There's another part of our community that's been involved in this, which is our Auburn Downtown Association. And they've been waiting patiently, but they've been also doing their part. They've been putting together programs. They've now published a membership roster of their group. They're putting together programs that show the value in the downtown. The merchants have been ready for this, and they're talking about how well their businesses are doing and how each business in our downtown needs to support every other business in our downtown. We need to carry a united message throughout the region that is positive and welcoming. And our downtown merchants have been doing a great job, and their director, Kathleen Keeter, is here to talk about them.
Thank you very much. I've said for a few years now, get excited about your downtown. There is so much here and so much more coming. This is the cool place to live. It's the cool place to work. It's the cool place to do business. And when somebody says there's nothing downtown, I send them to Federal Way or Covington's downtown. We are going to be known, and we are known as the home of festival events and parades. There are going to be thousands of people due to this great venue now that we can have more events. We were brave enough to have one when the construction and the backhoes were here last year, the Wine and Music Festival. It'll be a little easier to pull off this year. We have over 200 businesses, many that have been here for decades, generations of locally owned, family-owned businesses that need your support. So next time you hear anybody say anything about downtown Auburn, you tell them it's great, it's wonderful, it's beautiful. We have 3 new businesses opening up this week downtown. We've had 11 new businesses in 2011, and there's more coming. So again, get excited about your downtown. Be proud of all the hard work of the people here, the city, the council, the mayor. It's going to make my job a lot easier as far as promoting downtown. We've got some TV commercials we're going to be shooting and some other promotional and marketing things that we're going to be doing to bring people back downtown. So thank you so very much.
Thank you. What an exciting day. Also, I'd like to have a special thank you for some folks that were here today. Steve Bowen and his band called The Original Recipe. Thank you. That was a great job. I really appreciated that you kept the tune going when you almost lost your canopy there. You did very well. Also, thank you to CenturyLink and Longhorn Barbecue for providing the refreshments. Now, we're going to do a couple of things here in just a moment, but there's another thing I have to say. The promenade is done. Division is about to open. We are now taking orders. We have 3 blocks that we are going to sell. We have our developer, Spence Albert, right over here. Come right on up to him, checkbook in hand. We've got the best deals you're ever going to find. Now is the time to buy. As an ex-banker of 23 years, you buy at the low and you sell at the high. This is the time to invest. The city of Auburn has completely changed all of its permitting processes. All the process that you go through for development, all of the fees that you go through as development. They've completed an infrastructure change in their downtown for development. They have shown themselves to be good partners and their willingness to move forward. Now is the time. This is the place to move forward with the development. How many other places can you find with a transit center, a modern hospital, and a downtown grocery store in the downtown of a city? I can tell you right now in the state of Washington, there's 3. Here's one. It's modern, it's up to date, it's ready to go. It's time to invest in Auburn. Thank you very much. Now, what we're going to do today, we were going to have a ribbon cutting. We thought, no, that's the old way of doing things. What we're going to do is, council and I are going to man a couple of vans. We're going to drive through the ribbon and open up this road. Thank you all for coming. Let's move forward together.
Baby, shake it, shake it, baby, shake it. Come on over, hold on, shake it.
So we're still celebrating here, but they won't let me play. That's probably because I can't. But I'd like to bring up our project director and have him introduce some more people that were right in the center of this project. Matter of fact, they helped build it.
This has been an incredible project to work on, both in construction and in the design. Elizabeth alluded to a lot of the streetscape elements that have been implemented in the project, which have been awesome, but there's also another something that we're extremely excited about. Recently, we received a Green Roads Award, actually bronze certification for implementing green technologies into the project. This Green Roads sign will be posted up up on one of the posts here, and it'll show its nice greenness, actually. So Green Roads is an organization that certifies roadway projects for implementing green technologies into the projects. And so there are a host of green technologies that we've implemented this project, and to name just a couple of them, the more prominent ones, we have LED fixtures in each of the street lights, and LEDs. Aaron Knight has helped us with this project. LEDs are proven to reduce power consumption. And the other one is what Council Member Rich Wagner alluded to, which is the pervious concrete. That's also a green technology. And so, like I said, this project has been amazing to work on, and I just wanted to thank a few people. Johansson Excavating, our contractor, where are they at? There they are. They have been amazing. I appreciate their dedication and hard work throughout this project, and also to the businesses and residences in the area that have been extremely cooperative while we've had during this construction. So, I mean, that's really it. But thank you.
Love's gonna live here, love's gonna live here, love's gonna live here again. No more loneliness, only happiness, love's gonna live here. Stephen, here you go. Love's gonna live here. Love's gonna live here. Love's gonna live here again.
Auburn is open and we're ready for business.
No more loneliness.